Okay, I call the meeting to order. If we could please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome to the Town of Riverhead Planning Board meeting. Today is Thursday, October 21st, 2021. First item on our agenda today is a discussion item for 19 Cromer Avenue for a parcel merger. Greg, that's yours, right?
Yes, sir. So this is an interesting little application. There are two parcels which are located on the northwest corner of West Main Street and Cromer Avenue. One of them is located at 19 Cromer Avenue, which is a small 3,146 square foot parcel, which fronts on Cromer Avenue. And then there's 1652 West Main Street, which is a 21,663 square foot parcel, which has frontage on West Main Street. The properties abut the Long Island Railroad tracks to the north, and the surrounding area is developed with industrial and commercial uses. The properties are both located within the Riverfront Corridor Zoning Use District, which requires a minimum lot size of 80,000 square feet. Currently, these parcels are both pre-existing non-conforming in terms of lot size. The merger of the parcels would result although it would not meet the 80,000 square foot, it would reduce the non-conformity of the area overall. Right now, the site is presently vacant and wooded. The applicant did provide a proposed development plan. They intend to construct a single-family residence on the property. They would propose to take access and utilities off of Cromer Avenue. There is a 12-inch water main which is located in Cromer Avenue. Prior to any permits, they would need approvals from the Health Department and the Town Highway Department. They would also need a permit from the New York State DEC because it's in the Wild Scenic Recreational Rivers area. They do need to just clean up some information with the title report. We did receive title for the smaller piece, the 19 Cromer Ave property, but we have yet to get a clean title for the 1652 West Main Street property. I did review the application with Dick Ehlers. He said that prior to Chairman signing the map, which would be the assembled parcel, we would not be signing the map that shows the development plan. They need to just demonstrate clean title. Beyond that, what's that?
They have to come in again then for the
No,
house?
no, they would not need to come to the planning board. It would be a single-family residential. They would need building permits.
Right.
But staff has no objections to, the merger of the parcels. Like I said, it would reduce the nonconformity. They just need to satisfy the title report issues.
Are there any dwellings on the property?
No, it's currently
Yeah,
vacant.
vacant.
Yeah, I mean, this, as Dick Ehlers put it, this parcel seems to have been created kind of as an accident of history. Interesting set of circumstances, but I don't really have any objection to the merger of the lots. They would need to file the maps with the county clerk. I don't know if that's gonna yield anything, map abandonment, that sort of stuff, but
Yeah, it's interesting.
This is gonna be like living under the L in Chicago. The junkyard and the railroad on one side, Cromer on the other, and Main Street on the other.
Well, hold on. That was my next question. Is this zoned, as they changed all the zoning on West Main Street in that area that was not already residential? They had changed it in the last,
the last comp plan?
Yes.
So
And when-
the current zoning is Riverfront Corridor. It does allow
Yeah.
single-family residential
Okay, it
as
does.
of right permitted use.
It's not in part 666 Wild Scenic Rivers Act?
Yeah, that's
It
what
it is, and they would
yeah.
need, they don't need a permit to merge, they don't need a DEC permit to merge the parcels.
Okay, so,
Prior to any construction, they would need permits from the DEC for that WSRR.
They will have to go to the health.
They could,
Correct, they'll need health department for the construction, water connection,
No,
sanitary
it's for the
system
merger too.
for the merger, for the health.
It's a slam dunk.
I wonder why they're showing us the proposed house and all the other improvements if it's just a merger.
That was we didn't want to kind of segment any review. We wanted to understand if they had development plans for the property. We didn't want to just merge it and kind of give them carte blanche. So we wanted to see a development plan. I mean, again, that's not really under the purview of the board. It's just for the board's, information to see what the parcel would be developed as.
could they apply for a commercial type zoning there?
I mean, they could potentially go for a use variance. I mean, there's certain criteria that they would have to prove.
They're adjoining and abutting a piece of property that was formerly, they had a major issue there with contamination. But that, then again, they have to go.
Yeah, I mean,
they gotta-
they'll
they gotta
need to get permits when
yeah,
they go to
never mind.
develop. I
They
mean,
have to get through,
yeah,
they gotta get through.
my
something.
opinion, it would
Yep.
probably be the
Yep.
last place I'd want to live, right next to
No,
West Main
absolutely
Street
not.
and a train track, but
And he
again, that's
was
not for
right
everybody.
when he said it,
I hope
but
they like noise.
Yeah,
Would they have to come back to us? Not for a single-family residence?
not for a single-family
No.
residence. If it was anything else, if it was any type of commercial development, it would
have to
require a
go
site plan, but for a single-family residence, it would not.
What contamination are you referencing, George?
the junkyard contamination, that was, I mean, they couldn't sell that land because they couldn't transfer the title, it was so bad. But they may have cleaned it up over the years, that was some time ago. I'm not sure.
I know that really doesn't have anything to do with a lot merger, but if they don't have to come back to us, this is our only shot at it. And maybe we should just reference somewhere, they start digging foundations and leaching fields.
They have to go to health department.
Right, well, they don't always catch it either. And, whether it was cleaned up or not, we don't know, but I think we're just at least obligated to make mention of it.
It wouldn't hurt.
All right, so I mean, we do have an approval resolution on, I guess we could
No, that's
add
fine. It's just really a courtesy notification because we're aware of, either present or past contamination there. But my question is are there any regulations for setbacks from a railroad right away?
So that had actually come up with a previous application, the 48 Third Street Townhomes. I found a division of the MTA that takes any adjacent referrals. I'm not sure of any specific setbacks. The guiding criteria is the MTA wants the referrals to ensure that their unique development, scenarios are preserved and their unique situations. So I have yet to hear any feedback from that 48 Third Street referral, but I am not aware off the top of my head of any specific setbacks to the
Chairman,
railroad.
this is definitely gonna be a situation where it's gonna be small children, because it's 4 bedrooms. Could it be covenanted now that the property along the railroad, that it be fenced? Your kids wander, and
So
I don't know if that's something that we could do at this point, because we're not gonna get another bite at it.
that's my point, where they're not gonna come back to us. And would this be referred to the railroad also?
The parcel merger, I don't see why the parcel merger in itself would be referred to them.
But it won't go to anybody, even if they come in. So if this goes through, when it goes through, they're gonna come for a building permit and that's it, right?
Correct.
And none of these questions would be raised at that point, right?
So what I would recommend, I do have a resolution on, we could table it, I can speak with Dick Ehlers. I mean, I can refer their current development plan to the
I mean-
MTA and just see, see if we get any feedback. Maybe they require a fence along the property line with the railroad.
We did that one under the Rayner Avenue Bridge, it's right on there.
Yeah.
And we
It was
made
for
them
a
fenced it.
shop, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's a little house, isn't it? But we made them fence it, so.
I thought they put a garage shop, but either way, I mean, it's not like we're opposed to it, but if this isn't gonna come back, it's just some concerns we wanna capture somewhere.
Where would their address be? Both Cromer or West Main? For the house?
That, the engineering department is responsible for address allocation.
Okay.
If they're taking access off of Cromer, I would think maybe it would be Cromer.
Yeah,
but-
that's where they said it was.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
So maybe we table it?
I would table it, I'll speak to the applicant's attorney. I mean,
Like,
again,
are they in a rush to meet a
No, I mean,
deadline?
they still haven't gotten the title report for
Okay.
that West Main Street parcel, so I don't think, 2 weeks would be detrimental to them at all, because you wouldn't be signing the maps until that title report is satisfied.
Okay. All right, next item on the agenda, T-Mobile generator at 422 Edwards Avenue.
All right, so this is an administrative site plan application proposing to add a 25 kilowatt diesel backup generator at the site of an existing wireless communications facility, which is located at 422 Edwards Avenue on the east side of the road. They're really proposing to remove an a ground-level equipment cabinet, relocate another existing cabinet, add a 25 kilowatt generator with a diesel storage capacity of 240 gallons. I do note that that does not trigger any Suffolk County Department of Health Services approvals, which sets an 1,100 gallon threshold. The generator, they did provide cut sheets in their site plan. It indicates that the sound output from the unit at 23 feet would be 65 decibels, which is roughly commensurate with a household vacuum cleaner. There is an existing residence on the property, however, it's located over 800 feet away. So I don't think this is going to create any type of noise disturbance in the event that that generator is running. I mean, this is really simple, that's all I got.
Quick question, the fuel tanks, are they double-walled, or is it a tank within a tank, do you know, or is it just one wall tank?
That I am not sure about. I
Yeah, I
know
think
they
it has to
provided-
be.
Because it's 240 gallons, they don't have to get approval from the health department.
No, I'm just curious, like, at my shop, the waste oil tanks, they're double-walled in case,
I think if it's underground, it has to be double wall. I think above ground.
Not
This will be
necessarily.
above ground. I don't think it
okay,
has to
just curious.
Does not indicate that, it doesn't look like here.
Okay.
Greg, are there any other carriers on this location?
There are other carriers, there's no other generators on the site.
So what happens if they all want to put in 240 gallon tanks?
I
Come
believe,
to us.
yeah, I mean, they would need to come to us, I believe, I've reviewed this. I want to say there's at least 3 other carriers on there. I mean, hypothetically, if they all put in 240 gallons, they'd still be at around 750, so it wouldn't necessarily trigger any health department approvals.
Just like to try and encourage them to size and share their generators instead of having 3 or 4 on one site. Why not just one? Seen it done elsewhere. I'm not looking to hold this up. I mean, they're the first ones. There's no other generators there, right?
Correct.
And that residence, you said that's the same residence that S-Power told us nobody was living in, right? But we found out that they were.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they have any rental permits, but yeah, I mean, there are residences on the property. Again, they're a sufficient distance away, I mean, a vacuum cleaner at 800 feet.
You wouldn't know whether the generator is powerful enough to provide power to all the users?
That's
I
not-
don't, and I mean, that came up, I think, at one of the last ones, I think, maybe on Crown Castle.
That one's not
you know,
big
and
enough.
they- No. I believe they're probably sizing them for their own uses. You know, and we've heard commentary, they have different power usages, and, you know,
Okay.
all right?
All right, so where are we here? No public hearings. Resolutions, any comment on the resolutions before we take them up? Any comment on resolutions?
I'll move resolution number 102, granting a 4th extension to Holly Estates.
Second the motion?
Motion made and seconded to approve Resolution 102, extension of time for Holly Estates. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Resolution is approved.
I'll move resolution 103, T-Mobile generator, granting the administrative site plan approval. So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve Resolution 103 for T-Mobile generator, 422 Edwards Avenue. All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is approved.
Move resolution number 104 for 48 Cromer Avenue, LLC. Resolution granting approval of a preliminary site plan application. So moved.
Second.
Okay, just a question on this. Jefferson, I know there was a suggested edit by the applicant for the resolution. Nothing's changed this resolution as, very similar to the last one that we had voted on previously.
That's correct.
Nothing's changed. Okay. All right, motion made and seconded to approve Resolution 104, 48 Cromer Avenue, LLC. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Resolution is approved.
Move resolution number 105 for 19 Cromer Avenue for a parcel merger. Oh, we're going to table that, correct?
Yeah.
Table that motion, please. 105, so moved.
Second.
Second, okay, so in motion and second to table resolution 105, 19 Chroma Avenue, pending further information. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is tabled. Okay. Any public comment on any matter in front of the planning board? Any public comments today? This is going to be a record
Yeah.
today.
What about this one from, Sean Walter? I know it's not on here, but,
No, that was 102, that was the Holly
Yeah.
Estates.
Oh, okay.
extension.
Right.
Okay,
So
sorry.
that was- yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
The motion to move the minutes of the October 7th, 2021 planning board meeting, so moved.
Second.
Second. Motion made to approve the minutes of October 7th. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Any other business?
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Well, before we go, just for the board's information, I submitted a letter of retirement today right before the meeting, to the town clerk and town supervisor. I will be retiring at the end of the year and also stepping down from the planning board. I need to separate all my municipality work for my pension, and it will be effective at the end of November, and I may stay on if they need me to for the first meeting in December. So just letting the board know that
Okay.
I'm officially retiring and going to be stepping away from the planning board.
Well, we Wish you good luck.
Thank you.
Happy retirement.
Thank you. Next meeting is November 4th, 2021, at 7 o'clock. Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All in favor? Okay, have a good weekend.
You retiring from work also?